Hi everyone, I'm Tony Pearen. I'm an actor and a presenter, and the last job you may have seen me on was Funniest Home Videos. I hosted that for 5 years. And
I'm Luke Carroll. I'm also an actor, and I've just got into presenting, so that's a whole new world for me. But yeah, I'm currently on play school, so I don't know if you guys are a bit old for play school, if you have any younger brothers and sisters.
But I have an 18-month-old son, so I know all about Luke on play school. So we're just going to be sharing with you today the story of our careers and how we feel as performers, and if we can pass on any tips to you and help you along your way, we'll be very happy to do so. So what were some of the roles you had as a kid?
I did a lot of TV shows. My first job was a short film at the Australian Film, Television and Radio School for a film director, a student director out there. Yeah. And that led to my first big breakthrough TV role was a show called The Flying Doctors, which was on Channel 9 back in the late 80s, early 90s. And for me, that was a big thrill because I got to work with, for me, one of my role models, Ernie Dingo, who played my older brother. So for me, it was a big thrill. And I flew down to Melbourne the first time on a plane, so it was pretty exciting for me, and being on Channel 9, so a network TV show was pretty good.
And you've done a lot of theatre also.
Theatre, yes. Theatre's a whole different ball game in terms of you get a 6-week rehearsal period, which is to learn the whole play, the whole structure of it, and then you work 6 days a week, about eight shows a week. So you a matinee on Wednesday and a matinee on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Yeah, so it's a in terms of theatre, and you have a new audience, and it's a live audience, and so you've got to be prepped for each and every performance because you don't know how they're going to react in certain parts. And no, it's great. I love theatre. I shot a film at the end of 2009 called Needle, which is out in cinemas next month.
Right.
So keep an eye out for it. But it was a horror film, horror flick. So in terms of being covered in blood, I may or may not have died within the film. I may have been the killer. Someone's dying and someone's using a voodoo death machine to kill everybody.
My first job was on a country practice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my role was Girl in Hot Dog Stand.
Right.
That was my title. and I was a 50-worder.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah. And to me that was like absolute big time, Channel 7, and I was very excited to be there. And when I was 17, I auditioned for a role on a series called E Street, and I got the part, and I remember my parents told me that I couldn't take the part, and then because I was in year 12, and then I negotiated with them and said, well, I'll stay in school and I'll do the role on E Street. So we found a good balance there.
Funniest Home Videos. Yeah. It's been on the air for
21 years.
21 years. I think we've all watched it more than once. But how was that?
I loved. I love the history of the show. It has been on air for such a long time, and it's had so many different hosts. So I could bring my own flavour to the role, and I could put a lot of my own personality into it. And I learned a lot on the job, hosting my own show, being like the helm of the show. I loved working with them, working with the writers, like sitting in on writing meetings, and all the comedy writers would be there. Like every Thursday you'd get together and you knew that you'd just be laughing for the next 2 hours. Yeah. And so I found like creatively that part of it was really satisfying.
Yeah, right.
As well as like getting all dressed up.
Yeah, yes. Now acting, you've been on a street. Now it says here you're about to play a criminal.
Yeah, I just shot a role for Foxtel on this series called Tough Nuts. It's on the Crime Channel, and I play a woman called Tilly Devine, right. And she was around in like the 1920s, and she ran all the brothels in Sydney. She was basically a really, really mean woman.
Yes.
And I played her. I had to learn a Cockney accent for it. Right. And obviously it was the 1920s, so it's like Oliver Twist, like really poor and really rough. Luke, you're now working on Play School, so obviously that's very different from anything you've done before.
I went into the studio, did the audition, and yeah, got the part. So I was extremely nervous though. First day on set, we rehearsed a week earlier, so I was sort of okay prepared. But once you walk on set in the studio and you see Big Ted there and Jemima and the whole set, I started getting really nervous. But I had a great co-presenter, Teo. He helped me through the whole process, and all the crew who worked on it, they've been working on it for many years, so they helped me as well. But yeah, it's just so much fun, you're presenting to camera, you're not presenting to an audience, so much the deal there, so it's all sort of a new world for me, and it was also singing and dancing, doing the actions, and you make stuff, it's all pretty crazy at times, but it's really, really exciting. So between us, we've had a lot of experience, and so we just want to give you now just a few tips about acting that you might find helpful. And I suppose the first thing is a script, coming up with a good script. And if you're an actor, learning those lines on the script. And so what I do, my tips, if I've got lines or anything, I highlight them, write down a few notes during rehearsal. Blocking, you need to know your blocking. So from me, I write down all the blocking as well.
So blocking is where you move from one place to another.
Yeah, that's right.
So it gives you your actions.
For me, as an actor or presenter, knowing my lines and being prepared and coming to set, knowing everything and my blocking is ideal, and it's required to be there.
A lot of the KWN videos are documentary style films. We just wanted to go into presenting to camera, so if you're looking straight down the camera barrel and you're presenting your piece to camera, so what you need to do is you need to know exactly what you're going to say, you need to project, you need to speak clearly so people understand what you're saying, you need to know who your audience is, so you know what kind of language you should be using, like whether it's children or whether it's like a family show, or whether you're relating to people your own age. And then also if you're doing a doco style but it's not directly down the barrel, if you're just say if you're interviewing someone, you need to obviously have the mic in a position where we can hear what Luke is going to say.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Luke.
And obviously, like if you're interviewing someone, you don't want to intimidate them. You want to make them at ease.
Yeah, make them feel good. Yeah.
Because you obviously want to get the best performance out of them, because it's actually not about you, it's about the person that you're interviewing.
All right. Now, in terms of being prepared, preparation's coming up here. Doing multiple takes. So there may be times where you may stuff up a bit of a line. You should stop, cut, and do it again. If the sound's no good, if the person's doing sound, they're listening to the record. If it's not clear, if there's a car travelling past, if you're outdoors, if there's a plane overhead, you should cut and do it again so it's a clean take. So that your end result is basically your best performance for the film. If you're not happy as an actor as well with your performance, you can ask the director to do another take of it until you're happy with it, and so forth. If you're a director, if you're not happy with the performance, give some feedback to the actor so they can come up with a better performance for the film. And filmmaking is fun. It's a fun process. We love it. That's why we're still actors.
We're still actors.
We're not that old. But we love making films, and it should be a fun process, and that's why we're here talking to you guys, because we love it, we enjoy it, and it's a team effort. I haven't worked behind the camera myself. I don't know if you have, but it is a team effort. Everyone from the actors to the directors to the cameramen to the sound guys. On a professional shoot, it's a lot bigger crew than what you guys will come up with, but it's a team effort. Everyone's professional. They should rock up on time knowing what their job is, and if you do those sort of things, you should come up with a great film, I reckon.
I guess we'll stop talking, and now we want to find out if you have any questions for us. Is there anything that's burning inside you that you need to know?
Is there any tips on how to memorize lines?
Good question.
Yeah.
For me, I would, for an audition, so to speak, usually get a scene which may be 2 or 3 pages long. So for me, I would go in my room for a good hour or two and just go over the whole scene, just read what the whole scene's about. Then I would learn my lines, when I was a kid, I'd get my mum to come in and she would read the other actors' parts. And for me, I'd just go over that a good hour or two until it's in my head. Then I'd walk away from it, let it sit for a while, and then come back later on and go over it again and again. Practice makes perfect, basically.
Yeah.
Like for actors, you basically go to agencies. What about the directors?
First of all, if you wanted to get into directing, you'd probably apply for a drama school. They have directing courses in some of those drama schools.
But I think for like anyone that wants to get into the entertainment business, it's just about doing it. You know, it's about putting your hand up for everything. Like to get started, putting your hand up for any short film that's going, or, you know, any piece that you can direct, or putting a team of people together to like live out your vision. You know, it's just about doing it.